YouTube, how's it going? Frogs Angels is back with some more NBA draft content. A week away. Week away to the NBA draft. We got a full week of NBA draft content. Starting with position rankings. We're going to start with the point guards here, go through each position. Eventually get to my big board. We're going to go over news and rumors leading up to the draft, some trade scenarios, and a final mock draft. All before the NBA draft kicks off, so can't wait for that. Before we get into these point guard rankings, we have a subscriber goal of 10,000 subscribers. So if you haven't clicked that button yet, please do so to help us reach our goal. If you're already subscribed, thank you very much. Thanks for coming back. But on to our point guard rankings. We're going to start with 1, go to 8. There's 3 guys, I think, that honestly any of them could be 1, any of them could be 2 or 3. You can put them in any order. Most people would argue there's only 2 point guards like that. I'm going to say 3. I've had a recent change. We're going to go over it. We're going to go over right here, right now. Number 1 point guard in the NBA draft, in my opinion, is Trae Young. Oklahoma point guard, obviously. I got him at 1 because I think his elite scoring can transition to the NBA. I really do. At first, I was kind of a doubter, but I think he can. I think he can bring it to the NBA. The only weaknesses for him, the only one weakness actually, I don't see size and strength. Some people are concerned with that. That doesn't bother me at all. It's really the turnovers. 5.2 turnovers per game. But the good thing is here, I think it can be coached. I think he can learn to control it, to fix it on his own, really, just by time, just by playing NBA basketball. I think his passing can be elite, too. I mean, at a college level, I think it was. I know some turnovers came along with that, but if he gets smarter, his passing's going to get better, and there's going to be less turnovers. 8.7 assists per game, pretty darn good, especially compared to these other point guards. Especially him being such a good scorer, too. You like that he passes the ball. Like, he knew he was the guy. He had to be the guy. And he really wanted to open up and pass, too. You got to like that. And shooting pretty high percentage. Shooting NBA distance shot even further. Consistent, clutch. Pretty much every trait I like here. Just the turnovers. The only thing I don't like, the only thing that's pretty scary, but you can see it can be fixed with time. So, really, I expect Trae Young to be the first point guard off the board. I'm not going to be totally shocked if he's not, but I think he's number 1 point guard, and I think he should be the first one off the board. Now, second, bit of a change here. Might surprise people. I moved Kentucky's point guard, SHAI Gilgeous-Alexander, to number 2. So some people might have expected Collin Sexton 1 or 2. I actually got him at 3. We'll go over him in a little bit here, though. SHAI Alexander, what I like about him, obviously doesn't have the big numbers the other guys do in terms of points. 14.5 points, pretty good for what was around him, I should say. 5 assists, 4 rebounds, very athletic. Gets steals too. We see him take steals back to the other side and get points a lot of times, and one I noticed happened quite a bit. But very consistent player. Shot 48%, above 48%, very impressive. Didn't shoot a ton of free throws, so really his points came from the points, actual field goals, I should say. So very impressive, and a really impressive thing from me, especially being a freshman. You want to see the freshman get better. It's a must, and I think he really got better as it went on. Like, he wasn't really a go-to guy for Kentucky early on. SEC tournament and the actual tournament, he was the guy. He was the guy, and it was fun to watch. He would just take over games, and it was very fun to watch. Another thing, I think he does everything pretty equal. What I mean by that, I think he can go left to right. For a point guard, you want to see a guy be able to go to his left or be able to go to his right pretty evenly. And I really noticed that from him. Like his dribble moves, think they're very good for the NBA. I think they're NBA ready, smart, can see the floor. So I really like him a lot. I moved him from 3 to 2 on my previous rankings, which there was no video on, but my point is I moved him up 1 spot. So now we're going to talk about Collin Sexton. Do think Collin Sexton can be a great player. I mean, don't take it the wrong way that I moved him down to 3. I mean, looking at his stats, obviously he could score 19.2 points per game. Came up in big moments for Alabama. He's the reason Alabama was how good they were. Shot well, was pretty consistent. Really, and no turnovers too. I mean, not no turnovers, but under 3. Kept it under 3. That's good. 3.6 assists though. Wasn't really a passer. Kind of was the guy that had to score. And then that's part of what I didn't like. Main part is, even though he got it done at the college level, just the way he did it, I don't know if it can translate to the NBA. He kind of would drive in traffic, get a bunch of defenders around him, and then it was impressive. He would make that bucket. It was almost like he played like an athletic big man, almost like a LeBron James, really, an athletic forward, which I don't know if it's going to work in the NBA. Obviously, he doesn't have the size or strength to play like that in the NBA. That's pretty obvious. I mean, he got other buckets besides that too, but after going back and watching, he kind of would drive, get himself stuck, wouldn't be able to pass. That's why the assists are low, and then put up some ridiculous shot almost in the post, just about to the post, and it would go in. That's impressive. He can make those shots in the NBA. It's just going to be a lot tougher with that style of play. So I did move him back to 3 for that reason. I do think he can score. I think he can be a good player, but I just have more reasons to move him down to 3, so I put him down to 3. Again, those top 3 guys are very hard to split up, but I'm pretty confident in my top 3. But again, really, I expect Trae Young to be the first one, but I'm not going to be totally surprised. I can see Alexander being first because of his size, a 6'6" point guard. People like, sometimes it hasn't worked out in the past. Sometimes they weren't point guards, moved to point guards. How about Doncic? Possibly could do that at about 6'7", 6'8". That's a different discussion though. But can the 6'6" point guard Alexander, can it work out? Well, I think teams will be split overall. Some teams will like that size. Some teams rather have your typical point guard size. I guess Trae Young possibly. So on to number 4 point guard. After we get to the for sure top 3, I like Aaron Holiday. He can score. I mean, he's not that far off from the 3 as other people would say. He can really score, which you do expect from UCLA basketball, Pac-12 basketball. Lack of defense, so you're playing, but he scored at a pretty high level. I think he can come over to the NBA and do the same thing. Obviously not instantly, but I think he can do it. His brothers, obviously both in the NBA, Drew Holiday and Justin Holiday, so you got to think he has it in him. He's going to be at least a decent player, so I think he can be a good point guard. He's a scorer, so I like that about him. I think a team could really use that. Obviously, the league changing. You want to see more of a scorer. And that's what we got here. That's what we got from these guys, these point guards. On to number 5. Number 5 is Anfernee Simmons, the point guard that the last time we seen him play was at IMG Academy, which is a high school. Seen him play for some All-American teams, obviously, but didn't play college ball. Took the year off to train for the NBA, so he's here. And there's some teams that think he can be a shooting guard. I can see it. I have him listed as a point guard. Obviously, it's not a guy that's going to instant impact. He's not an instant impact guy. You're going to need to develop him. He doesn't have the college experience, but there is some staffs out there, some coaching staffs, some front office, GMs, scouts. They just prefer the guys from high school. They may not even consider evaluating him off of his college tape, which a lot of these guys in this year's draft you kind of have to do because they didn't have much action. And like him, he didn't have any. So there's some teams that really put college in a lot into the evaluating, and some teams that don't. They really focus on high school. So we'll see. We will see where he goes. Some teams will really like him. Some teams wouldn't touch him to the second round. You can develop him. He's got the traits. He's very athletic. He can shoot. Passing maybe is something that is a question mark right now, but he has the traits. He's very athletic. Again, not an instant impact guy, but I do have him at 5 for now. And then we're going to go through 6, 7, and 8 in my point guard rankings to end it here. Jalen Brunson, Player of the Year from Nova. Thing with him is obviously high motor. You like that about him. Wants to win, is a winner. But the thing with him is he does everything good, pretty much every trait, but nothing is elite. And you want to see something elite. Trae Young, elite scoring, and some may say elite passing. Brunson really isn't elite in any of those categories, or can he be elite in any of those categories for the NBA level in the near future? But the good thing is he doesn't really have any big-time weaknesses, so we'll see where he goes. Could be late first, could be early second. Devontae Graham from Kansas is my number 7 guy, maybe the most underrated guy in the whole draft. A big part of that Kansas team, why they went so far. He can score, he can pass, he really can do it all. I think he's very, very underrated. I even seen that he could go undrafted. I don't know if I'm buying into that. That's a little ridiculous, but it sounds like he could go second round. I like Graham a lot. Again, I think, in my opinion, maybe the biggest sleeper in the draft. I think he can play. He just knows he knows the game. He knows how to play the game. I like him. 8, Wichita State's point guard, Landry Shamet. One of those bigger point guards, again, maybe 6'5", 6'6". Like Brunson, he's really not elite in any category, but can do everything pretty well. Where does he fit in? That's the question. They're going to be pretty split on him, I think. Teams will be pretty split. I think there's a team that may take a chance on him and late first, and then there's teams that are going to maybe even have later second grades on him. So there's a few point guards like that, mainly these 3 guys right here. So there's my top 8 point guards. Again, we'll be doing every position group. This was the first one with point guards, and then we're going to go shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center. We're going to go through that. We're going to have a big board, news and rumor video. We got a bunch of NBA content through the week up till the draft, even after. If you watched our NFL videos, we did free agency predictions, where could guys go, and then finally who we think they're going to land on or what team they're going to land with. We're going to go through all that with the NBA free agency process, so it should be fun. Stick with us. Plenty of NBA draft coverage to come. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Our goal is 10K subscribers. If you are currently a subscriber, we thank you for being back with us. But that'll do it for this one. Stay tuned for more. Goodbye.